It was so noisy actually.
Hi, Lakshmi. Hi, Babu. Good morning.
Hi, Sabir. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Okay. Just a minute. Yeah. So, fine. So, anything you want to discuss or anything, doubt, anything?
Shabir, actually 3 sessions are missing. Shabir, can you advise no, Venkat to keep the 7th and 9th and then 14th session? These are the 3 sessions. I
I
don't
think
know.
I think he uploaded maybe on Sunday, I guess. Few sessions.
Uh,
I'll check
We
him.
checked the Shabir. We checked already on that, but again 3 more sessions are missing.
Okay,
Um,
okay. I will check with him. I will check with him. Sure.
there is no continuity also. I mean, no, they are with the different names and all like that. Just can you please make ensure that, or else maybe he's not sure about the sessions. I mean, he changed or something.
Lakshmi,
But
can
can
you
you
once again what are the dates you are asking?
7th, 9th,
One,
9th and 14th.
let me know. 7th, 9th,
14th.
14th.
Yeah,
Okay. I will give you clarity then after the session. Please go on.
yeah, yeah. Thank you.
Okay.
and Sabir, do you have any material other than this record? I mean, these sessions. So we'll go through that, and if you have any like PPT or anything.
We have one SAP tutorial website actually, where they generally show each of the components, not all the component, but most of the component by taking an example. So that is something which can help you. I will share that link to the Venkat, he will share with you. That is pretty much helpful. That is, in fact, initially when I started, I referred to that one and it was very helpful.
And
We have some documents, Shabir, but the problem is that we feel that's very lengthy, and then no, we are just looking
Yeah,
for we have some designs to the documents from SAP itself, but they're very lengthy, and then
yeah,
we feel to go through them it would be take more time.
yeah, yeah.
So,
Same. So that's why I'm telling you that is a video tutorial actually.
okay.
In that one, it will be shown with the help of videos. Okay, how this component work, how this component work. So pretty much easy. You will that would be a little bit easy for you. Okay,
Yeah, thank
I
you.
will share with you that one.
Yeah, thank you.
and one more thing, we need interview questions as well. So if you provide those questions as well, it's good.
Or at least if you have some idea on the scenarios, just to help
Yeah.
us out. It's not
Okay, okay.
based on the tutorial or something we are asking.
Okay.
Just because
Now,
you have enough idea on the tool and all, maybe you can advise us some questions just to clear the
yeah, that
this part. That's why I'm asking. It's,
okay. No, I have even, in fact, I have given couple of 3, 4 interviews already. So even I have noted down few of the questions which I was asked, and then few which I experienced that might be good. So let me
yeah,
recollect that
yeah.
one. I will just need to have that one. I will give that one also. No issues. That I am having that one already.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you,
thank
Sabir.
you. Yeah, bye.
Yes, no problem.
Okay. No, Sabir. Actually, we did we practiced the previous sessions. I couldn't find any difficulties, so I can manage. So that's my feeling.
Okay.
And one more thing, checkbox is there. Just
Okay.
drop down box is there. In drop down box, we are mapping the data source using item properties. I mean, in properties, under properties, we can have option item. We are
Yeah.
mapping
Yeah.
data source to drop down box. So is there any way to like a manual scripting? Is there any script to map the data without touching the item box?
Yeah.
Do you have any?
You can directly
Yeah.
add the components. Like if you want to some hard coded value, if you want, like this is drop down box.
Yeah. Suppose that actually, yeah, now it's fine. Something like if data is not coming from the data source.
Okay,
Suppose we are passing any manual value in that case, how it will work?
so one way is like you can directly add the items here. You
Okay.
can just, so you
So
can
this
give,
is the, manual enter.
yeah, you can just manually enter whatever all the list of values you want. They will be coming to here. So there are two ways that I showed you. Like this is the manual way. If you click on the plus, it removes all these values and you can get the data source value. So if I say plus, then it will, I can add it. But if I don't want, I can just remove this one and then it will take those value only. So you can use it. Okay.
Okay.
So this way you can add some static text also. Okay, just a minute. Yeah. So now let's try to view few of the, we create a tab, few of the complex component, or not complex but a little bit that component. So we have used chart. So similar to that one, we have got another component called info chart. It is not much different. It is pretty much similar to chart. There is not much difference. The only advantage of this is that if I add any data source, okay, so let's say, okay, so if you remember, whenever we use the chart, so what happened was we need to change the values, because by default what it does, it used to match the x-axis, the key figures. So that thing they have overcome with this info chart. So now what it will do is it will automatically map the things correctly. You will see the dimensions on the x-axis and key figures on the y-axis. So that issue is not there, and I got to know in few of the discussions forum, like this chart component, it will be removed. It will be no more from maybe some later release 1.7 or that one. They will use only info chart.
You are
And
right. 1.5 itself, 1.6 itself not there. Chart.
yeah, there is some latest patch is there in that one, service flag, and that one it's not there. Then you have the same data selection, what you used in all these things. Okay, you can use that is similar. And it has actually one more data chart type view. So whatever chart type are available in previous, so few extra additional they have done. So you can, so this thing is not very much important or very useful. It's just like you can change the order of the values, which should be first, which should be second, and then you can add the dimensions wherever you want. You can add something in the legend colors. Okay, so that anyway doesn't make too much sense, but the thing is here you can change the chart type. Few which I found additional was, I think this was like this is there. Okay, so multiple, this few additional charts are there that you will not find in that one. Okay. So this is bar chart with two axes. So the advantage of bar chart with two axes is, or you say column chart with two axes. So just to give you a brief idea, like what is the advantage of plotting a thing on two graphs or two axes? So if I ask you that, okay, if I plot it on a single axis and if I plot it in a two axis, what is the advantage of this one? Or what is the scenario in which we will be, it will be better to plot a graph on a two axis, two y-axis?
See, in this scenario, sales are more. I mean, like sales are started like 2000. I mean, 2 lakhs almost. Now quantity sold is very less, 50,000 only. So if you represent in single chart, maybe so some of the factors we cannot see in the chart,
Yeah,
like
exactly.
for country.
Yeah, if you just see a column chart, okay. Now sales value are starting, the lowest value is starting from close to 1.2 millions, okay. And the quantity sold, that at maximum is only 46,000. So 1.2 million is the lowest for sales revenue. Maybe this one, I guess. Okay. And maximum sales is 46,000. So generally those two quantities which are not very much similar in values or range of values, I will not say similar in value, range is very different. So in that case, we prefer to use two axes. So something like you are representing something like head count, okay, and sales revenue. So headcount will be like 1,000, 4,000, 5,000, maximum 10,000, but revenue can go in millions. So these two cannot be represented on the same axis. Else the value will be like the second key figure, whatever is there, let's say headcount or something, that will be almost zero for everywhere. You will not even able to view that one. That's what was happening if you plot it on a single graph. You see this quantity sold is almost zero everywhere. It will be. So in that scenarios, very useful. So it was previously also there, but I think few of them are added. I think this 100% stack chart with two x-axis, okay, and two y-axis, these kind of things they have added. So few charts are added addition. Rest all are same. So few like heat map, tree map, all these things they have added. Okay, so this info chart is in that scenarios a little bit more helpful. So just a advanced form of chart, and it's easy to use and good also. Rest all things are same, scripting thing, drill down, all these things. Everything, whatever functions were there, they will be same. It's not that there is functional change anything. So rest, these all should be same.
And Sabir, one more doubt. In y-axis, I mean, like suppose that here sales revenue is there. So it's starting from 2 lakhs. So is there any way to decrease the gap, like a 2 lakhs, 4 lakhs, 6 lakhs, 8 lakhs it's representing? Like we have any option to represent 1 lakh, 2 lakh, something?
No, that actually it automatically
At
takes from the minimum value to the maximum value. So
okay,
if you, so obviously with what is your maximum value is close to, let's say 8 lakhs. Okay, and minimum value is starting from around 1.2 lakhs. So it will start, so the range is from 0 to 8 lakhs. Okay, so obviously if I want to, I have given that much of area to my space and whatever all the values are there, so he found that okay, the range should be in that one, 2 lakh, 4 lakh. Now let's say if your minimum value would have been something like 3.5 or 3.8, okay, then it would have started something like 3, 6, 9, or maybe 2.5, 7, or 5, 7.5, like that one. So it automatically calculates and give the best one. So generally, I don't think you have the option to change this thing. It is generally dynamically calculated and based upon that. Okay, so it divides what are the number of steps you want. Means as per internally it will calculate and it gives the minimum and maximum values and divide the steps accordingly. How many things you are valuing. Okay, so I don't think we have an option to this one. In Excel sheets, actually we have the option we can change it, like we have an option something called this axis can be linear or logarithmic. So that was used when you want to have something. So we have additional properties here. We can, I think, as far as I remember, axis scaling, that might be the feature available, only that linear and logarithmic. But other than that, I don't think we have. Just let me check. Okay, so these all are layout only. Grid line. Okay, here you see primary scale is there. Okay, so what you were telling is the option available here actually. You can say fix primary scale, fix range. So if I say minimum value, let's say okay, and maximum value. Okay, so now if you see, it has changed from 1.5. So you can do it, but that is actually not very much recommended, because later if value changes, then if some value comes from your backend system and it has value little less than 1.5 million, so it will not be plotted. It will be kind of zero. So that is option is there. You can do the maximum minimum value, but it depends upon you. Like if I want 7, 5, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Okay. So that is option is there. You can use that one. I can. Okay. Similarly for the secondary scale also. So good. At least even I have not used that one. So even I was not aware that this functionality is available. Okay. So you can give it here if you want.
Okay.
So, so this is about info charts. Okay. Okay. So now we have another component called as scorecard. This is recently introduced. I have not used it in any real-time project right now. This is a little bit complicated. I tried to use it. Let's say I use. So mainly it starts in additional properties. Okay. So here whatever dimension you want to choose, you can choose whatever you want to display. So let's say I want to display only state, up to state, then you will say generate initial scorecard. Okay, so it will give you whatever key figure you are representing. So what it does, it gives you whatever all the states are there, then key figure, sales revenue, and then so these two are things which you represents. It will take the first key figure and represent. Then these two things it automatically generates, which is not something, it is a kind of it's by itself it does, like sales revenue for year. Okay, so within that year, what was the sales revenue? It was like this and this, three values. Within that year you have, so you have 3 years for that state, it is representing. Then, so it is kind of, it will give you some complex self-created chart and all these things. So like if you see, it says sales revenue versus quantity sold. Okay, so here it is plotting you. This is sales revenue, and the last one is your quantity sold. Okay, similarly here 2047 and all these things. Then you can comes the part where you can change the things, whatever you are displaying here. If you want that, okay, now what I only want is state and sales revenue. I don't want sales revenue for year. So you can change it. So this is your header content actually. What is your this sales revenue for year, whatever title it is coming, that comes from here. Okay. Or if you want, okay, now let's say this thing is there, sales revenue versus quantity sold. Okay, and let's say you want one more column, that is quantity sold. Or maybe let's say you don't want this one, sales revenue versus quantity sold. You say that I don't want, so you can delete this upon what you want. So whatever you display here, you have an option to represent it via which thing you want to use. Chart comparison, delta chart, or simply you want text, so that you can choose. So let's say we remove this one. Okay. So what are the properties here? Let's see that one. What are all the things are available? Okay. So this one is what is your heading. So you can say I want to display state. So it will be displaying state. What it should display? What should be the cell content? So member display, value presentation, value member type, member level. So you generally represent value presentation. Okay. And member display mode does the same thing, text only, text with icon. So we keep it text only. And then we have the properties of setting how much this one want. Okay. Then we have second member, it is a measure. Okay, so if you see, it is showing dimension measure. And if you see, it was showing dimension object. So the same thing, whatever measure you want to display. So I want to display sales revenue. Okay, object result text on. So not much is different. I want to add any measure. Let's say I want to plot quantity sold also. Like whatever sales revenue is being displayed, I want to display a quantity sold also. So I can add just next to sales revenue or even after the end. Okay, so let's say I want to add a new column. Okay, what is the thing which I want to display? Dimension metadata content. So in case if you have any doubt, you can just refer to any other key figure and see what you want to do. So measure metadata content. Okay, so this should be a measure metadata content. Okay, now which one you want? I want to represent quantity sold. So a text will come here, quantity sold. Now in the cell, what you want to display. So this is only for header. What is the cell I want? So it will be, I think it will be single data. Let me check. Single data cell value here. Okay. Mm, okay, okay. Let's say I want quantity data sold. Okay. So then it will display you that one, and then you can set the various properties. So that is generally not very much important. Then you can shift it also, like I want this quantity sold next to sales revenue. So I can just say this one move up. So I want column 4 to be move up. So quantity sold will come here. So for every state, what is sales revenue, quantity sold, and then sales revenue for year. The same thing you can add one more time. Like sales revenue for year it is displaying. You can add quantity sold for an year also. Next one. So these are the various options. Even I have not explored that this component scorecard very extensively, but basic thing what you need to do is like with this one, and how it displays is also a little bit different. Oh, it's not representing. I think there is some issue with the data source actually. It's not loading. Let me check. So how it represents is we have, let's say, 12 or 13 states. So what it does, it loads the data in different pages. So let's say 12, 13 are there. So few will be in page 2, few will be in page 3, like that one. It will load it. So, but it is a little bit complicated. So it's not very easy for user to understand, and it is like recently introduced. So they have little bit of under means not very easy for user to understand. So maybe they will, I guess what I feel is they will fine tune it and make it a little bit simpler. Then it might be a little bit easier for user to use. At that time, maybe it will be more useful component for end user. But right now it's more of a complications rather than a straightforward thing. So that's why we generally don't use this one. But still, so just I was giving a brief idea what is this component is all about. Okay, so that we can in future, if we want, we have an idea at least what it does. So this is about the scorecard. Mm, yeah. Now here one more another component is fragment gallery. What it does, it let me add a tab here. Mm, okay. Let's say I have a chart here inside that panel. Okay. Source DS2, swap access. Okay. And so first of all, let's give me a brief idea what fragment gallery does. It allows you to save the snapshot of your data. Okay. Later. So if you applied some filter and you want to save that snapshot, okay, so that once you execute your application, you are able to view it later. So that kind of functionality is used. So let's say I take a dimension filter. Okay. Okay. Data source. Let's say dimension state. Okay. And so whenever you save your fragment gallery component, you want to save it on a text. So I will give you an input field where you can give some name and then you can save it. So this can be something like save, and let's give a text here, this name. Okay, so this is your basically what you want to display, and here we will create a fragment gallery. Okay. So here we will have all the fragment gallery, and let's say create a panel here, control component. Inside that we have, let's say, a split cell container. That is fine. Now what we want to do is, whenever user selects this one, we just also, the code is pretty much straightforward. You don't have to do that one. I think, just let me recollect it. Okay. So what we are doing is, whenever you are saving it, we are saving whatever you get into this one. Okay, and text we have 3 here. Okay, so text is what? We want to give a name to our panel or whatever we have saved, so we give a text here. So don't need to worry too much about complexity. You can give the name. So whatever bookmark you want to, you will give him a name and what are the components you want to save. So I want to save panel 1. So what it contains? Panel 1 contains a chart and a text. Okay, and then I want to get the text and assign it as a name, and I am adding that to the my fragment gallery. Okay, and whatever user will enter, I will text assign it to the text. Which text? I will assign it to this text, whatever user will enter, so that I know a name for my whatever I save it. So it will be text 3. Okay, now let's try to save it. Okay, so you are getting the data for different states. Let's say I want to view the data for California, Colorado only. Okay, and I want to save it as California. Okay, if I say save. Okay, so what it is, this will be saved in my California bookmark fragment gallery. These are already which I created earlier. So actually what happens is it automatically takes your previous one also. It takes the gallery from the bookmark itself. I created for was for my when I was trying to exercise it. Okay. So at that moment I was trying to connect. Okay, so that previously whatever you have created, that also it restores. So that you can also remove. We have an option we called as reset all fragment gallery, so it will remove. So whatever you keep on adding, they will come. So let's say if I want to modify it, I want something like for DC, okay, and I want to give the name DC, save it, so it will be saved. So now whatever these two I added, it will be there. So now if I want to view it, what do I need to do? I will bring it here. Okay, so it will in the California. So this is the data which I saved when I clicked California and Colorado. This is DC. So if I want this one, so generally if your space is not enough, it will overwrite. So that you need to manage. And then if anything you want to remove it, you can remove it. I don't want this one, you can remove this one. If I don't want this one, I can remove this chart, or you can move it a little bit also. Okay, so depending upon how much space you are having, it will take. So multiple if you want, you can have it also. So that is actually the split cell container is till here only. So if you want multiple more charts, you can expand it to till here. Then it will more charts. Okay, so you can just adjust the size also. Okay, so it will be like that one. Like that one you can adjust also. So it is in that manner. So you can keep on adding various snapshots which you want to store it. You can have multiple things. You can have only one chart here, you have one cross tab here, but you need to have that all in a single panel. So if you remember, I have put this chart and text into the panel. So then it will save it. So not very useful component, but in some of the scenarios actually where you want the user whatever permutation combination of filters and everything what he has applied and to just refer it in future also. So in that scenarios that comes very handy. So but the thing we have another option available that is called as bookmarking thing. So generally that comes a little bit more handy in comparison to this one. So in bookmark also we have the same things. So similar to that one, not exactly the same thing. So that we will see later. So generally that is a little bit easier thing to do. So that's why fragment gallery, and if you have to choose between fragment gallery and bookmark thing, we prefer to choose the bookmark thing. So fragment gallery. Okay. So just a minute. Let me see. Okay, so if you have plenty of component, you will have a scroll down. It will shift here and there. So this is your split cell container or fragment gallery, and where you are displaying it, this is called your split cell container. So this is how you will use the fragment gallery. Not very useful, but in some of the scenarios, it is pretty much handy. Okay. Okay, so it is about the fragment gallery and any other thing. So maybe then any other advanced component, I don't think we have. Not useful. Yeah, so I think that is all the component whatever we are there. So you can just go through the session. We will make sure that got all the sessions. Venkat will take care. He will upload all of them. Okay. So you can have a look, and maybe in tomorrow session, whatever doubt or anything you are having, you can have it. And then we see few other important things like bookmark, how we use, and then we have some other functions also, which is how we use.
Okay.
Okay. Okay,
Okay.
fine. Any question right now if you have?
Nothing from my side.
Okay, fine. Then we'll probably connect tomorrow, same time, and take forward. Okay.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Okay. Okay. Yes, you too. Bye. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Babu, Babu, are you there?